What happens when the world's safest place, the home, becomes the very source of a child's deepest fears? Imagine a world where the shield that was supposed to protect you never existed, leaving you to face the storms of life entirely on your own before you even knew how to tie your shoelaces. This is the silent reality for children who were never protected. While most children learn that the world is generally safe and that adults are reliable anchors, the unprotected child learns a far more grueling lesson: that safety is a luxury and survival is a solo mission. This fundamental lack of protection doesn't just leave emotional scars. It fundamentally rewires the developing brain, creating a psychological blueprint that dictates how that child will interact with the world for the rest of their life. When a child lacks a protector, their nervous system is forced into a state of chronic high alert. This is known as hyper-vigilance. While other kids are playing or learning, the unprotected child is scanning the room for shifts in a parent's mood, listening for the specific tone of a footstep, or deciphering the heavy silence of a room. They become masters of micro-expressions, reading the subtle tightening of a jaw or the narrowing of an eye as if their life depended on it, because in their mind, it often did. This heightened state of awareness is exhausting. It floods the brain with cortisol and adrenaline, making it difficult to concentrate on school or social development. They aren't just being sensitive, they are being survivalists. This lack of protection often leads to the development of a fawn response, a trauma reaction where the child becomes an extreme people pleaser. If they can make everyone else happy, if they can keep the peace and anticipate every need, maybe they can stay safe. They become the good child, the one who never causes trouble, the one who is unnervingly mature for their age. But this maturity is a mask. It is a defense mechanism born of necessity, not natural growth. Underneath that calm exterior is a child who feels utterly invisible and profoundly lonely. As these children grow into adults, the weight of their unprotected past follows them like a shadow. They often struggle with intimacy and trust. After all, if the people who were biologically wired to love and protect you failed, how can a stranger be trusted? This often manifests in two ways: either an avoidant attachment style, where they keep everyone at a distance to prevent being hurt, or an anxious attachment style where they are constantly terrified of abandonment. They might find themselves drawn to chaotic partners or high-stress environments because the feeling of walking on eggshells is the only version of normal they've ever known. The silence of a healthy, stable relationship can actually feel threatening to them because they are waiting for the other shoe to drop. Furthermore, the unprotected child often grows up with a harsh inner critic. They internalize the lack of protection as a personal failing. They believe that if they were just better, smarter, or more lovable, someone would have stepped in to save them. This leads to a lifelong battle with low self-esteem and a feeling of being fundamentally flawed. They take on the responsibility for things that were never their fault. They become the fixers of the world, trying to provide for others the protection they never received themselves, often at the cost of their own mental health. However, understanding this psychology is the first step toward breaking the cycle. The process of healing often involves reparenting the inner child, learning how to provide that missing protection for oneself in the present. It involves setting boundaries, acknowledging that the lack of safety was a failure of the adults, not the child, and slowly teaching the nervous system that it is finally okay to let down its guard. It is a journey of moving from a state of constant survival into a state of actually living. It requires patience and a profound level of self-compassion to tell that inner child that they are finally safe now. This journey isn't easy, but it is necessary for reclaiming a life that isn't defined by past neglect. By understanding the deep roots of this hypervigilance and the fawning responses, we can begin to offer ourselves and others more grace. We can recognize that certain behaviors aren't personality traits, but are actually survival traits that are no longer needed. If you found this exploration of childhood psychology helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the human mind. Don't forget to leave a comment below, sharing your thoughts or your own experiences with finding safety as an adult. Your insights help build a community where no one has to feel unprotected anymore.